way. Hi.
Sir, would you raise your right hand for me, please? Do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the cause now in hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thank you. You may be seated.
Good morning, sir. In a nice loud voice, could you introduce yourself to the jury and spell your last name?
Yeah, it's John Heywood Jr., Heywood.
And sir, how old are you?
52 years old.
And where do you live?
Salisbury, Mass.
How long have you lived in Salisbury, sir?
Overall, I'd say about 35 years on and off.
Okay, born there?
I was born there, then I moved away for a little bit, and now I'm back.
Came back. All right, and we don't need your exact address, but where in Salisbury do you live, sir?
Salisbury Beach.
Okay. And do you work, sir?
Yes, I do.
What do you do for work?
Sheet metal worker.
Okay. How long have you been doing that?
31 years.
All right. Now, sir, I want to take you back to November of 2022, and really even before that. Did you know an individual named Leroy Fowler Sr., sometimes referred to as Big Leroy?
Yes.
Okay. How'd you know Mr. Fowler?
He is my first cousin on my father's side.
Okay. And just for purposes of the questions I'm going to ask you today, there's been some discussion in the trial about his son, Leroy Fowler, as well as his father, also Leroy Fowler, has been mentioned. All the questions I'm asking you today apply to Leroy Fowler Sr., who's about your age.
It's actually Leroy Fowler Jr.
Exactly. That's why I made that little announcement. So we're talking about Leroy Fowler Jr., Big Leroy.
Yeah.
All right. So you said that Mr. Fowler was your first cousin?
Yes.
So you guys pretty close in age, so grew up together?
He was about 6, 7 years older than me.
Okay.
As a child, elementary school type, we were kind of close as a family. As we grew older, not so much.
Okay. In the last couple of years of his life, sir, how often would you see Mr. Fowler?
In the summertime, once to twice a month. Not really at all through the winter.
Okay. And were these sort of planned meetings or planned get-togethers, or was just
No.
what were the circumstances under which you would sometimes see
We
Mr.
both
Fowler?
lived on Salisbury Beach, so if I went to a bar or a restaurant, I would usually see him there.
Okay. And did you know a woman named Judy Church?
Yes, I did.
How did you meet Miss Church?
She was dating Leroy.
Okay. And how long had you known Miss Church as of 2022, sir? Give or take.
I'm going to guess since they first got together, so maybe 8 years or so.
Okay. And when you would see Mr. Fowler out and about on Salisbury Beach, would you see Miss Church as well?
Yes, usually.
Okay. And did you ever did you see her by herself as opposed to with Mr.
A couple
Church?
times.
How was your relationship with Mr. Fowler, sir?
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about Miss Church?
Same.
All right.
No issues.
No issues. All right. Now, you said that these meetings that you've described for us were generally just happenstance. You just happened to be in the same bar, the same part of the beach as Mr. Church, Miss Church or Mr. Fowler?
Yep.
Did you have any planned meetups that you guys ever
No,
did?
never.
No. Okay. Now, sir, I want to draw your attention specifically to the summer of 2022. Now, during that, during the summer, and I know you don't remember the exact date, did you have occasion to run into Mr. Fowler and Miss Church at one of the bars on Salisbury Beach?
Yes, I did.
What bar was that?
Uncle Eddie's?
Okay. And what kind of a establishment, it's a bar, but what kind of an establishment is Uncle Eddie's?
It's considered a dive bar.
Okay. And popular?
Very.
Okay. And did you on one of those one day in the summer of 2022 run into both Mr. Fowler and Miss Church in Uncle Eddie's?
Yes.
Okay. Was it a planned meetup?
No, it's not.
Just happened to be in there at the same time?
Yep.
Okay. And did you have a conversation, interact socially with them while they were in the bar?
Yes. When I saw them, we usually interacted.
Okay. Do you remember what day of the week it was?
It was either a Saturday or a Sunday. I don't.
And how do you remember that?
Because I'm usually away in the summertime. I live up in the mountains for the most part.
Okay.
But I happen to be home that weekend.
Okay. And was it crowded?
Very.
All right. Now, at some point during your interactions with Mr. Fowler and Ms. Church that day, did the subject of cheating on a partner or spouse come up?
Yes.
Okay. And what was Ms. Church's comment about that sort of activity?
She said, if he ever cheats on me, I will poison him.
Okay. All right. And did the conversation just kind of continue on from there?
Yeah, there was a little more talk afterwards.
Okay. And then, how much longer did you spend socializing with them that day?
If I had to guess the total conversation through the whole time they were there, maybe 3 to 4 minutes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Nothing further.
Okay.
Who is this witness?
I do, Judge.
Mr. Scully?
Thank you, Your Honor. Morning, sir.
Hello.
My name is Liam Scully. I represent Judy Church.
Okay.
You and I have never spoken or met, right?
No.
Okay. So, you just testified on direct examination that you were present in a bar with Judy and Leroy. You had a good relationship with both of them, right?
Yes.
And the subject of cheating came up, right?
Yes.
And Judy said something like, if he ever cheats on me, I will poison him, right? And Leroy, according to a statement you made previously, Leroy was there and he laughed or smirked or smiled
Correct.
in
He
response,
smirked
right?
and,
Yeah.
tipped his head off the side.
So, and you thought, this is just a joke these two are having, right?
The way it was said and the fact that I knew he had another girlfriend made me uneasy.
Well, okay, you did nothing about it in the time, right?
I told my wife.
Okay, you told your wife, and she said, I didn't hear him say that, right?
Correct. And then I told her again that night.
Yeah. So she was standing next to you.
No.
Wait, listen. She was standing with you, and you asked her, did you hear that? And she said no, right?
No, that's not how it went.
Okay, let me ask you another question, all right? So this statement that now you attribute to Judy Church, you first came forward with this and told law enforcement about this in September 26, 2024,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Years after the statement was supposedly made, right? There's no recording of this statement, right? There's nothing written in this statement, right?
Excuse me?
There was nothing written down in this about this statement, no text messages.
There was text messages.
Okay.
Me and my family.
Okay, between you and your family.
Yes.
Okay. And were those turned over to the prosecutor?
No.
Okay. So you knew back, well, and it's over 2 years since the time, or just about 2 years since the time that Leroy passed away before you came forward with this statement, right?
Correct.
So this is your first cousin Leroy, right?
Yes, it is.
You spent a lot of time together as children, right?
True.
Playing together, right?
True. Yes.
Family parties,
Yep.
holidays.
Not so much holidays, but yes.
Okay. You knew him for 50 years and you loved him.
As a relative, yes.
You cared about him.
Yes.
You didn't want anything bad to happen to him.
No.
Okay. And then when he died in November of 2022, did you go to his funeral?
Yes, I did.
And did you go to his wake?
Yes, I did.
And did you express condolences to Tammy Carbone?
Yes, I did.
And did you express condolences to his son Leroy?
Yes.
And express condolences to Michael Hawkins?
I'm not familiar with Michael Hawkins.
You don't know Michael Hawkins as well? You remember seeing somebody, you ever get introduced to him?
I don't recall.
Okay. And Tammy is also your first cousin, right?
Correct.
And so you become aware at that time that Leroy died, and he died of maybe antifreeze poisoning, right?
Correct.
That becomes a known and accepted thing in the family at that time, right?
Yes.
And not long after that, in fact, Judy gets charged as having committed this poisoning, right?
Correct.
Okay. So and you were aware that the family had been meeting with police officers, right?
I knew from the newspaper that they'd met.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
And so November 11th, 12th, 13th, Mr. Fowler dies. You don't come forward to the police with this statement about Judy in November. December of 2022, you don't come forward with this statement to the police about Judy.
Nope.
Keep it to yourself.
Yes.
A secret.
No, I told my siblings, and my
Okay.
mother,
All right.
and my wife.
And January, we go to 2023. January, February, March, April, May, June, July,
Mr. Scully, I think we can all do the months. Go ahead.
yeah, all the way to November of 2023. You don't say anything to law enforcement.
Correct.
The anniversary, first anniversary of Leroy Fowler's passing, his death, November of 2023. There's an ongoing criminal case. Judy Church has been charged, right?
Yes.
It's in the media, right?
If you say so.
Well, is it?
I try not to follow the news or anything.
Okay. Did you know that this case was being covered by the media?
I knew about the case, yes.
Right. And you knew that this would be a difficult time, the 1-year anniversary for Leroy's son, Leroy, and for Tammy, right?
I never crossed my mind.
So November, the 1-year anniversary comes and goes, and you don't say anything to law enforcement.
No.
And then we get to 2024, and I won't count out all the months, but all those months go by, all the way to September 26, 2024, right? Or strike that, September 23rd, 2024, right?
If you say so, I don't know.
You walk into the police and give them a written statement. You remember that?
Yep.
Okay. And that's you coming forward now with this information that all those years ago you were in a bar with Judy and she said, if you cheat on me, I'll poison you, to Leroy.
Correct.
Okay. And when you came forward that day, what inspired you to come forward was the case was in the news again.
It was my sister make me feel very guilty about having knowledge and not saying
The
it.
defense had filed a motion to dismiss based on the
Objection, Judge.
bittering age. May I rephrase that question, Your Honor?
Yes, you may.
Okay. At the time that you walked into the police station on September 23rd, 2024, to give them this information about this statement that you say Judy made a couple of years prior to that, this case was back in the news due to a number of pretrial proceedings and being covered. And you learned about the proceedings to a degree, right?
No.
No. All right. So you go in on the 23rd, right? And do you remember that to be the day?
Yeah, I don't know the date.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes, you may.
Just gotta get my glasses.
All right. Does that refresh your memory about the date that you came in to give your statement to the police?
On September 23rd.
2024, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, the statement about cheating, right? You knew Judy and you knew Leroy, right?
Yes.
And at that time, Leroy wasn't cheating on Judy. Leroy had an open, notorious relationship with Barbara.
I was not aware that Judy knew about it.
Oh, okay. Were you aware of who Barbara was?
I just knew that there was another girl and her name was Barbara.
Okay, all right, all right. So you're not aware that this was just an open triangle.
I am now.
You are now. You learned that during the case.
Yes.
Okay. So in fact, at that time, Leroy's not even cheating on Judy. He's just having two relationships at one time, whether she likes it or not.
I didn't know that.
Okay. Now, you went to this bar called Uncle Eddie's, right?
Correct.
And you testified on direct examination that you had a good relationship with Leroy at that time, right?
Correct.
And you had a good relationship with Judy at that time.
Correct.
And that in the summer months, because you were all connected to Salisbury Beach, you would see them 1 or 2 times a month on average in various restaurants and bars, right?
Correct.
And they would be coming and going from those bars together.
Yes.
They lived at 108 Central Ave,
They lived on Central Ave. Yes.
and that's right near the beach.
Correct.
Is that a walk to the beach?
Yep.
Okay. How close?
Maybe a 4 to 5 minute walk.
Okay, 4 to 5 minute walk. And you would see them on a regular basis, but not on a planned basis during that time, right?
Correct.
And this statement that you now came forward with 2 years later, you say that that occurred on a Saturday or a Sunday, but you don't remember which one, right?
Correct.
And that it occurred in the summer, but you don't remember what date.
Correct.
And that Leroy smirked in response.
Yes.
Okay. No further questions, Adam.
Mr. Camillia, anything further?
Just real quick, Judge. Sir, why did you come forward in 2024?
It was the stress. My sister was really getting. When Leroy had passed, I had texted my family about the conversation, and then my sister would get on me now and then, and she has a habit of getting under my skin, and she was really getting on me to come forward and give my statement.
Did you want to be involved?
Not really.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Mr. Scully,
One last question.
issue may.
You were asked, gave the initial walk-in statement on the 23rd, right?
Yes.
And then you conducted a recorded interview that took place on September 26, 2024, a couple of days later, right?
Sure.
And you were asked at that time as well by Trooper Williams why you came forward, and you said it's just best to go in so you have that extra testimony.
There was more to it.
Yes.
You're reading one sentence.
Well, that's one of the sentences, isn't it?
Is that exact quote? Which one here? Can I read the full quote?
Well, why don't I read it to you, okay? I talked to my family, some more. They said maybe I should. It's just best to go in, have that extra testimony.
Correct.
That's the exact quote, right?
Correct.
So you came in for extra testimony to pile on in the evidence that was being brought against Judy Church from 2 years prior, didn't you?
I came in because my conscience was getting on me and also to help the case
Right. Extra testimony.
as a witness.
Those are your words.
As a witness, correct.
Nothing further wrong.
Thank you. You may step down.
Oh, Judge, I'm sorry. I do have in response to that.
Okay.
So the full statement about why you came forward was actually more extensive, was it not?
Correct.
You said that
Objection, scope.
Well, it's not beyond the scope. I am allowing, this is the third round of questioning, which I rarely allow, and about the only circumstance I do it is if a statement has come up right at the end and it's an issue of completeness. It's about the only time I allow what is, at this point, redirect. I will give Mr. Scully one more go-around, too, after this, but go ahead, Mr. Camilio.
Thank you. And your full statement was, I was going to come forward initially, and then I saw through the papers like the evidence and stuff, and nobody really wants to get involved in a murder case. So, and then Trooper Williams says, yeah, and you replied, I told like my family and stuff, but it's been eating at me for the past few weeks. And Trooper Williams asked, is there any reason the past few weeks? And you said, I don't know, I really don't know. Is that a more accurate and complete
Yes.
description? Thank you.
Mr. Scully.
Extra testimony to help the case, to help the guy you love who's gone, Leroy Fowler, right?
That's part of the quote.
Yeah. And that's what you were doing.
That is one part of a long quote.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you. Now you may step down.
Thank you.
Mr. Camilio.
Judge, we are ready to go back to the defendant's statement if this is a good time to do that for the court.
It is. That's fine. That's fine. If I understand, just by happenstance, I think according to Ms. Strasnick, we ended up stopping that recorded interview, the second recorded interview you're hearing with respect to Ms. Church, at almost exactly to the second, the halfway point through that interview. Is that correct, Ms. Strasnick?
That's correct. I couldn't plan it if we tried.
So we just happened to stop right at the halfway point. So we have half of that interview left to be played. And I told you we would play it, but you'll recall we suspended the playing so we could ensure that we completed the testimony of Sergeant Williams. So now we'll get back to playing the second half of that interview. And this is exhibit, what's the thumb drive exhibit?
48, Your Honor.
48?
Yep, and we're going to pick up at 4633, which is where we stopped.
Could I have one moment just to get organized on that, Judge?
Yes, you may. Before we start playing it, you mean?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, we're ready to proceed.
Oh, yep. All right. Yep. I'm just gonna-
He's then,
There we go.
he's at Mount Auburn, and then kind of, can you walk me through what's the proxy issue? Is it just the official documents not there? Because I know, like, legally, I'm gonna pause on how proxy works. Because even, like, if you were married, would you automatically be his proxy? Or do you need,
Oh, I don't,
you might need,
truthfully, you're right, I'm
I
not
don't really
sure.
know if it's like, as soon as, you know, if it's like next to kin, like legal next to kin gets it out, or if there has to be a form. But you got, basically, you didn't have a form saying you're a proxy, so therefore you couldn't interject.
Yeah, but on all of his paperwork, my name is there.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Hospitals can be tough.
I get it, everybody has to cover their ass.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, somebody needs to cover their ass, because how did it tank from there? So so at 1:45, I call the hospital again, knowing dialysis takes a few hours. I don't really know what the process is.
What time?
1:45
AM or?
a.m.
AM, okay.
Of Saturday now.
Yeah.
And they said it didn't need dialysis, that his acid levels are normal. See, that he had a high elevated acidity in his blood.
Okay.
And they
I don't know what
they
that
were,
means, but.
well, your blood has
No, I know.
a
but
pH
it's like-
balance of alkaline and acid, and
Yeah.
it needs to be on a balance. Or
Did you used to teach science or something?
no, I knew
Yeah, we didn't even touch that. What grade did you teach? Fourth grade? Sorry.
No, I'm Dr. Google. I look everything
Okay.
up, and
Oh, on Google?
you know, I look up all his symptoms, and you know, try. I've told him more so than anybody else
Yeah.
what's actually wrong with him.
Yeah.
You know.
I use, have you ever heard of DuckDuckGo?
No.
Oh, it's a search engine.
Okay. Anyway.
Sorry.
That's all right. And so they tell me he doesn't need dialysis. Good.
His blood was better.
His the acidity was normal. His potassium was coming down. And what was the other thing? And that, he'd be off the ventilation in the morning. Now that all sounds wonderful to me.
Yeah.
And I wrote it all down because I wanted to give that information to Tammy and Leroy.
Yep. Okay.
And I did.
Yep.
And, visiting hours were from 1 to 8. I'm going to
Yeah.
go sit with him, blah, blah, blah. And, and then I called the hospital at 10, too, around 10 a.m. And she said, yep, everything's okay. He's okay. But the doctors are making their rounds this morning.
Is this 10 a.m. Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
Saturday.
Oh, well, let me think.
Yeah.
Because we saw you
He's
Saturday.
at Mount Auburn. Yeah.
Yeah, so we saw you with the pizza.
You saw me Sunday.
So that's why.
Okay.
No,
No?
we see you Saturday. Now you're again off. Yeah, we saw you Saturday. So you're talking about. So basically, before we get to the 10 a.m., I'm assuming that was Sunday. So then you left.
No, 10 a.m. was Saturday, before I left for the hospital.
Oh yeah, because it's Anna Jake's Friday, Mount Auburn Friday, Saturday, 10 a.m. Mount Auburn. Okay.
Right. So,
Yep. So you haven't seen us at this point.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I called this around 10 and they said that the doctors were making their rounds, but he's okay. And she called back in an hour and I said, well, in an hour I'll be driving there for visiting hours, so I'll talk to the doctors then. And somewhere between that amount of time, I guess, Leroy took proxy away and I've been left in the dark.
Oh, son Leroy took proxy away. Okay, so he became the proxy guy. And then you left the hospital, came, talked to us. You've been in the dark since you talked to us. Okay.
Well, no, I'm not going to say that. I texted little Leroy and he kept me informed, I suppose. And it just was all awful. It was nothing that compared to what I thought I left
Yeah.
in a hospital.
I remember talking to you. It seemed like, because even when I was talking to you, you were like, why are you talking to me? He's going to be fine.
Yeah.
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 I got that vibe.
I mean, wouldn't you have heard that as good news?
Yeah.
Things all doing what they should, not that your organs are shutting down.
Yeah, I wonder if, because obviously that day when we talked to the hospital, I got the vibe that it could take a turn for the worse. I don't know. I don't want to speak on the hospital's behalf. I wonder if it's your family. Nobody wants to go to someone and say, especially because what if they're wrong and he pulls through and they're like, well, why did we say all this to her?
Right.
So I don't want to speak on their behalf. I'm making an assumption before I did that. Okay, so that's Saturday, and then who notified you that he passed away?
His son.
So was it? Okay, so Leroy has still talked to you. He hasn't been
Yes.
jamming you up.
And I gave him the whole story. I texted him the whole thing. It's the truth as I know it, and it can't change. I mean,
Well,
I'm
facts
not
are
making
facts.
any
Yeah.
facts are facts.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, and then it's Monday, so you passed away. So on Sunday, did you go back to the hospital at all? Because you passed away Sunday night.
No.
Okay, so you were home Sunday, and then you passed away Sunday night. Okay, so is there anything then? And I know we just spent a lot of time talking about the timeline of 72, and then basically 72 hours after the incident. So we went on like 6 days. So I'm sure I missed something. Is there anything from Wednesday to basically now that I didn't ask you that you think I should know, or like an event that, like Wednesday, you're like, oh, I couldn't really remember what happened. Like, did anything pop into your head while you were talking about anything I didn't ask you during that whole time frame? No? Okay.
I don't know. Probably.
Yeah, I'm positive too. How are you doing right now with the news of Leroy, obviously?
I'm in shock.
Yeah.
Man was my world. And I think his family is shutting me out. And
What makes you think that?
I don't know, just,
'Cause I know you said you talked to him.
I texted Tammy, you know, they're not replying, you know, they're not really, and little Leroy is still, you know, I'm confused. I told him I don't know what to do. And, you know, I need to have my grieving process too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The man loved me.
Yes. Yeah.
I have his medical history that you could fill this room with.
Can you get, because I remember you saying Anna Jakes is like normal for him because of the pacemaker. So I'm interpreting his medical history as, I'm assuming he has a heart issue, he has a pacemaker. Is there anything else that's like you said bipolar, possible drug use, smoking, and a pacemaker, so his heart. Is there any other part of his body that you worry about?
All of it. I mean,
Or like, I guess,
Always.
you know, I think I misphrased that. Is there any other reason that he goes to the hospital? Like, how frequently does he go to the hospital to Anna Jakes? Is that like a once every 6 months?
he
leave away from the
doesn't.
hospital?
He doesn't go to Anna Jakes. His heart doctor is in Newington,
Okay.
and he hates Anna Jakes.
Yeah.
I actually was saying to the ambulance guy, "Don't take him to Anna Jakes."
Okay. Is there a reason why he hates Anna? Just not.
You go into Anna Jakes, you come out, you're dead. That's
Okay.
his history of Anna Jakes.
Is he on any? I should have asked earlier. Any prescription medication for his heart?
Yeah, so I got a whole.
Do you know? Oh, so a lot of stuff. Do you know any of them off the top of your head? I know there's like.
I can brute the list.
How many would you say prescriptions he has? Like 10? Can you list them while you're doing that?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking. I put all his medicine in the, you know, Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, I can list him. He takes some Mesprazole for his GERD, you know, heartburn.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He had, now I won't be able to. Atorvastatin he takes, lisinopril, carvedilol, if I'm saying it right. I give him a baby aspirin. And he has gabapentin. He doesn't take it all the time. One of his legs get restless.
Okay.
And I think that's it.
Okay.
Did you check those pills like recently? Had he been taking them regularly?
Yeah.
Was there a chance he took too many like the
Yeah.
wrong day?
He's never
No,
using
he took,
them.
yeah,
But he didn't double up by accident?
no.
Like Saturday,
Okay.
Sunday?
I don't think even if he did, you know, I took some in the morning and forgot, took some at night, I don't think there's anything in there that's
you
gonna
have
really.
to take a lot. I guess on that topic, I know we had suicidal ideations, thoughts, statements, attempts, nothing like that.
No.
He seems like a happy-go-lucky guy based on how you describe him. Kind of goes to the beat of his own drum, but
He was happy.
happy overall. Okay. Do you have any other questions about
So
kind
what-
of that timeline?
Other than the orange soda. See, I'm wondering if something he took could have caused this, like the Percocets. Did you look around for that canister at all
No,
since after?
Oh yeah.
No, I haven't.
Oh yeah. We were saying we would.
I haven't even touched that one.
Okay.
Any other food, drink that could have
I guess allergies.
something like
So they
that would
had
cause him to
He didn't have allergies.
All right. Because I did
was he
listen to the.
throwing up at all?
He said that he wanted to throw up that morning.
When did he say
Thank
that?
you for saying that, because it just, I think about it and, you know, he said he wanted to throw up and he would cough and, you know, some spittle would come out on the floor. This is when he's, you know, stumbling around.
Okay. So I did listen to the 911 tape, and I actually did hear you say don't take them to Antijakes. And when they were trying to, I don't think they.
I don't think they have a choice, really.
Yeah, I think kind of the closest.
You did say you thought he ingested something. So like, what made you think he ingested something?
Because I don't have a conversation that seems normal at 4, and to he's legless.
All of a sudden, yeah. So just kind of that was like kind of like the common sense.
Something.
Like.
And that I had seen it before, back in 2019.
Okay. Do you have any other questions about that timeline? Is there anything that popped into your head, like he just said throw up? Like, is there anything that popped in your head while we were talking?
No.
So anything earlier in the week? Was he vomiting? Was he nauseous at all? Like
No.
leading up to that?
No.
Or you had said the other day he was like leaning against the wall to catch his breath while he was working.
Oh yeah, he felt
Did he get dizzy?
dizzy.
And how long was this happening? Was it just Thursday?
No.
In every
Yeah,
day?
he'd be dizzy a lot, and I thought he was anemic, and I thought, gotta cook him up some red meat.
Yeah.
He complained about a month ago about the urine. And I told him he gotta drink more water. Oh, that's another thing I did. I gave him water. I took him a sip of water. I said, "You're dehydrated." I was thinking his behavior might be presenting as dehydrated. I took a sip and I don't want any more of that.
Well, he was on the floor or in the bathroom or
No, in the bed.
in bed.
Before or after the fall?
Before.
Before the fall. Okay. Oh yeah. See, that's why we ask questions. I keep thinking of things. You mentioned carbon monoxide. In the
Well, that is what happens when your body expels that the carbon monoxide caused from the acid in your body. So it's elevated. That's what part of that whole.
Is that what they said at Antijakes? Body might have a higher.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Not that carbon monoxide was the cause, but anything was worth looking into. I even told little Leroy last night, he kept saying there's an unknown toxin in his blood. And he said it wasn't Perks, it wasn't Coke, it wasn't, I don't know, whatever else it could have been. And it's an unknown, and I guess everybody wants to know what the unknown is, and so don't I. And then I said, well, he cleaned out the basement and he crawled up onto the cottage. There was obviously evidence of critters. And maybe because I've heard, rat poop, you smell it, you can die.
It's nasty stuff.
And so I mentioned that. I mean, that could have been it. And he got back to me and he said, no, the doctors, he's already gone, his brain dead.
When was he cleaning out the basement area you showed us? What day was that?
Thursday,
the day before. He was cleaning out the basement area. And then you were thinking that, so the doctor told you about carbon monoxide, is that why?
Right. Well, I think I Googled it, and I said, what is he expelling? That's why he says that told me that was another good thing, that his body's expelling the carbon monoxide.
So
caused from the acid in his pH.
That's why you thought possibly the basement if it had.
Yeah.
But you and your son never felt like any effects of anything.
No.
Do you still think that could be a thing? That like the basement could have had carbon monoxide?
I'm certainly looking into it. And
okay.
I'm calling it.
His little room is right above that too, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
And so, and then I thought in the back room there, in the ceiling, there's mold. I said, maybe it's mold. And I'm throwing out there at every possible.
It's all stuff you breathe in, so.
Right.
When he told you he fell a couple times, what was your reaction? Were you surprised by that?
Yeah, I was actually.
Did you
asked him. I asked him if he was okay. Well, that's really, he made it to the bedroom.
When he said that fell, what do you picture in your head, like just standing up and wiping
stumbling,
like kind of like unsteady?
I didn't hear it, so it couldn't have been. like the
Like a big, yeah.
like the noise he created when he was around the room. No.
Sorry. I was listening. What you just say?
Just about him stumbling and falling.
Okay, sorry.
So I was like practically
Wrap hoop, yeah.
you're just clutching at straws to think.
Like, yeah, I mean, I've heard of actually pigeon feces. You can get it's something in your lungs. It's I know a firefighter that it happened to. It can cause some like disease. I heard the term. Okay. All right. So, do you have anything else on the timeline? No. Once again, anything that's like because things are popping in.
Well, as they do pop up, I will, definitely call you.
I my business. But so I'll let you know too. Kind of extension on here. No, it's not. Okay, so I do know. So obviously we've been doing our invest. Well, he's been on it since Friday. I was notified Saturday. Death investigations, what we do, but. We have been able to talk to the hospital, and we have preliminary results of what that toxin could be, and antifreeze was detected in his system. So that's what the preliminary results are. We need to wait till the official lab results come back, but we talked to the doctor. That's what is preliminarily determined to be in his blood. So that's why I was asking you about like suicide, things like that. Trying to figure out like how that could have got in his blood.
I don't even know if we had antifreeze at the house.
Okay.
Sometimes cleaners, windshield washer fluid.
True. Yeah. Sorry. I think I interpreted like like it's a preliminary test result. It's not like the lab result came back and said antifreeze. Just preliminary. So take it with a grain of salt when I say antifreeze. But something like I guess like maybe like a cleaner or a toxin or something.
So you're thinking he drank this himself?
Homemade alcohol.
I'm trying to figure out how he could have
like moonshine, stuff like something like that.
Like you said, he had I don't know. I don't want to. It's your loved one, so I don't want to ever imply anything. But you said you saw him drinking orange soda in the morning, and I'm just thinking. I have to have an open mind as a detective, so I'm just thinking. Well, he was drinking something in the morning. Could that have been in there? And I'm not implying your loved one was suicidal. I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to. That's why I kind of danced around it. But I'm trying to piece together how. I'll say at least a liquid toxin, maybe not antifreeze, because you don't officially know what it is. How that could have got in his blood. Like, could you ever see him? I guess doing that? Would that even make sense? No. Okay. Does he drink his orange soda? Like, is it something where he's like popping a can, so it's not like it could have been he...
Right out of the can.
Oh, okay. So the soda's out of the pitcher. And you didn't drink... Because I'm assuming if that's what it is and it got in this, you had to have drank it. I'm assuming you don't eat. Unless you drink it direct from, like, the bottle. But you said you don't even have antifreeze in the house. Or... something of that nature. I'm not like an expert.
I'm not an expert on toxins either, but things would be under the sink.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be things out in the back. He likes to fix bicycles.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's any toxins in that.
And you kind of now me telling you I know, but you don't see him doing that.
No, no, not ever. He kind of likes himself. He's a.
Okay.
He's a private man. He's a proud man.
Yeah.
Likes his world to be his own world, and not fodder for the rumor mills.
Okay.
So, just knowing that about him, it would be just total opposite.
Of what he would
to
do.
Drink something.
To just like do something like that.
Right.
Okay, because
But then he said to me, I'm going to die. Which is fun, which is odd. Like I said, he usually says, you're killing me. You laugh about it.
Do you know what he drank out of that morning? Does he pour it in a cup or anything? Or like there could be
No, the can's still sitting on in the little rack there. Or a can of orange soda, I'm
Okay.
assuming.
What do you mean by like a little rack?
Well, he puts up a little thing so you can, like
Good shelf.
it's like a.
Is it in his like bedroom area or the kitchen?
In the back room.
In the back room, he has a little rack.
Right,
And
so
he
we
put his orange soda there. Okay, and that's in a can. So, yeah, I don't want to imply that he did anything to himself, but I'm just trying to
Could have
like,
been for mistake.
Yeah.
Could have been something leaked on something.
but even if there's not antifreeze even in the house, so it's like, could he have any in his truck?
And he could have cleaned out the van that day.
But you keep saying the van. There's a trailer in front of the house.
Yes, and his black truck,
So where's the van?
right in the driveway.
Yeah, when I'm looking at the house from the street, is the driveway left or right?
From the street? Right.
Right, okay, so there's a van there. I didn't
Yeah.
know that was your parking area. Okay. Okay, so we've also been told that Leroy in the past has thought that he's been being poisoned by somebody and he doesn't feel good and it's been an issue. So we're trying to piece together how he feels that way and that he has what they determine to be antifreeze in his system.
Okay. I don't know how this antifreeze in his system.
Okay.
I make him coffee fraps. And yeah, he's a bad boy, he cheats on me and stuff.
Yeah.
And one day I bring him his frap and he says, "You're not trying to poison me, are you?" I laughed, took a sip of it myself.
Yeah.
But it was kind of an ongoing joke between us. And
When was that?
I don't know, a year, 2 years ago?
Oh, so he's been going with this joke for a while then.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, just us fooling around that,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Okay.
right, that, a Wednesday, we watched a lot of true crime, because now that's popping into my head.
Yeah.
He says, when I get to Florida, I think I'll become a serial killer.
Okay.
And so I just keep looking at him, but you wouldn't kill me.
Yeah.
And, he just had this look in his face, like, yeah, I'm going to become a serial killer. He met Eileen Warnos.
I don't know who
She
it is.
killed men down in Florida.
Oh.
And, because he was homeless down there way back when. And she told him, "You're a good kid, get out of here, you don't belong here." Except killing him.
Really?
Yeah.
Eileen who?
Warnos.
Warnos? Is she a serial killer?
She was assassinated. Well, I mean, executed. Electrocuted.
Oh, so she was bad.
She was a serial killer, and she got the death sentence. So so it was a story on TV, and he just gets this idea in his head.
Yeah, so maybe
But
active
we, and I look at him like, and he'd just be, everyone, I'd be watching TV, and every time I look over, he'd be staring at me, giving me a look like,
What channel does he watch true crime on?
I think it's called True Crime.
Is that the channel? Oh, okay. I use like Netflix, so I'll be honest, I don't really watch a lot of TV anymore. So there's a channel called True Crime and he watches True Crime. Do you like True Crime?
Once in a while I watch them. I call them the murder shows. You watch any murder shows?
Do you relate more to detectives or to the serial killers like he does?
I don't want to know anything about the serial killer. I like the process.
Yeah, I think that, yeah, because that was surprising you said he relates to the serial killer. I feel like most people watch it to, like, see what the detectives do and the legal, and how they solve the crime as opposed to, I guess that'd be the opposite thing. So, I'm just trying to piece it together. If the test results do come back that it is antifreeze, is there any enemies of Leroy? Is there anyone that you could see doing this? Anyone that would have the ability to do it?
Well, there's Barbara. She's batshit crazy.
Okay. would she have like the motive or drive to do that? Like, do you
Yeah,
think
because he leaves, he comes back to me. He always comes home to me. I don't talk to her. I don't want to see her. I don't even want to bump into her. She's just evil incarnate.
evil in what?
Incarnate.
Oh, incarnate. Okay.
She's just
Yeah.
presents. She's, she has all her little minions that do things for her. And I'm like, what? Doesn't anybody have their own brain? Can't they think for themselves? And I'm not just saying that because I hate her. I know there's all kinds of drugs being sold in and out of that house.
Could you see her, I guess, I know you love Leroy. Right? So did she love him, or was she just kind of he was like a side piece to her, and you could see me?
I think she loved him too.
Okay.
If evil can love.
What did you think about Florida? Did Leroy talk about her?
And she just
You guys are going to be moving down there.
right.
Did he ever talk about her in
No.
regards to Florida?
No,
I'll
no.
never see her again. I don't care.
He would say things like that to me. I got to get out of here. He kept saying, I got to get out of here.
But he never mentioned how she felt about it to you. Because obviously, you wouldn't be around her anymore. He say that
Right.
she's pissed off.
Right.
Did he ever say that he told her?
I guess I can't really answer the question. I don't know.
Not sure. He never.
No, I speculate.
But he never said that to you.
Let's put it this way. At her house, I'm probably the CUNT word.
Yeah.
And at my house, she's the CUNT word.
Yeah.
So,
Does he kind of not bring her up around you?
yeah, he will every once in a while. Mostly it's because she's, as dumb as a bag of rocks. Thinks she knows everything. Thinks she's, knows Leroy's father and Leroy's father issues. And, these people are past dead before he even met this woman. And how do you know these things? And, but she was very manipulative and she'd do anything to have him back.
So you could see her being capable of.
I'd be the one being poisoned, you know what I'm saying?
So would you not see her being capable of doing something to this to Leroy? I know you said maybe to you, but could you see her doing that to Leroy?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And so if we found antifreeze in your house,
Okay.
right? What would you say if we found your fingerprints on the antifreeze?
It wouldn't be.
It wouldn't be. Okay.
Nope. Unless I bought it, but I don't even remember buying antifreeze.
Right.
Anyway,
If
you
you
need
did, what-
antifreeze for?
It's your car.
Is it in your radiator?
Yeah, your
Keep
car.
things from freezing?
Yeah, we live in New England. It's November.
I mean,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, and
all right.
it prevents freezing.
well, usually that, if I get an oil change, don't they do stuff like that?
Okay, so there wouldn't be
so I-
antifreeze in your house. Your
No.
fingerprints wouldn't be on the antifreeze.
Motor oil bottles, any of that,
That's
not
more
my-
like Leroy buys that type of stuff. These are hypothetical questions.
Okay, yes.
I'm not saying I have your fingerprints on an antifreeze bottle in your house. I'm not
right.
saying I'm sitting here.
Right.
I've been in your house today for like 30 seconds. I'm
Right,
not saying
just like you wouldn't find,
Yeah.
his fingerprints on a pot or a pan.
Yeah. Alright. So these are just hypothetical questions that I'm asking. Can you understand where we're coming from? Obviously why we have to ask these questions. I understand it's uncomfortable.
I want answers.
Yes.
I'm
And the
just,
family wants answers. Everybody wants answers, and like I said, I know it's preliminary test results of some toxin. So who knows? But until the final results come back, it
take
could.
the can of orange that's still sitting, I haven't touched that.
Yeah.
I stand there saying, I know I gotta look for that little container, but
Do you have any questions for me right now?
You prepared food. Did you put anything in it?
did I put
Did you
anything?
put any poison in his
No.
food or drinks?
No, I didn't.
So you tell me you did not poison him?
I did not poison him. I loved him. I wouldn't harm a hair on that man's head.
You weren't upset that he's bouncing back and forth between you and Barbara.
It upsets me, but, he comes home to me. He loves me. We have the future, the plan.
Has he ever been sick before? Like, just not feeling good
No,
around you?
no, he's
Do
usually,
you have to take care of him at all?
well, you know, rub his back hurting.
When was that? Like, what was that?
If he asked me to rub his back,
I don't know, but
How would I
can you
take
think
care
of a
of him?
specific, like, example?
no, we just, ask your question
Have you
again.
ever had to, like, take care, like, he's feeling sick or ill?
I take care of him.
I know, like, when has that happened?
He's never ill. He's hardly ever ill.
Okay.
I've never heard the man throw up in my life.
Is there any reason why Leroy's family would say that you were poisoning him? Because I know you mentioned you went right to the coffee drink. Or, no, is it a milkshake? Is it ice cream or something?
Coffee, ice cream, you know, milkshake.
Coffee, ice cream, frappe. So,
I said
Why
that
would
to
it- why
Tammy
would
the
they-
other day, just the other day, and that's why they got it in their head. It was a joke
okay,
between Leroy and I.
okay.
You know, he's always saying, you know, they know how much I love them.
Yep.
So,
I have to ask the questions.
because that's fresh in her mind.
So that's-
I've done something.
Did you tell her that on the phone or like text or talk? Did you talk to her in person? Well, not in person.
I was talking.
Okay, so you think that got in her head? Because did you tell her that? When did you tell her that? What date was that? Was
Thursday.
that Friday?
Friday.
Oh, Friday.
When he was already in the hospital?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And then was that Friday morning, afternoon, night?
Well, it was when I got home, because I didn't tell anybody anything. It's probably what Leroy would have wanted me to do until I had some answers.
Yeah, get the facts.
And so I got home around 6:30. They intubated him around 6. I never knew, it's not like on TV, they stick a hose down your throat. They actually stop you from breathing.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
They give you a medicine. And I was in the room and I heard them talking, you know, give him 100 or 125. And they said because of his size, give him 125. I didn't know what they were talking about. And the nurse said, and, you know, this whole tray of stuff in preparation. And when I heard that his heart, they stop your heart, I just went whoop in a
Yeah.
full-blown panic attack. And
Yeah.
I had to leave and I went out to the waiting room. I left my bag there, so I had to call. Can somebody just bring me my bag so I can go home?
So you think then Tammy just has it in her head because of the joke? How did that conversation come up? Because obviously I'm going to ask Tammy about that. How did that conversation come up with Tammy? What brought you to mention the coffee frat?
I don't know. I know there was something, but I don't know.
Okay.
I think we were just talking in general.
Were you talking about? Well, actually, it must have been no. Because was it? Did you say you told the family later that day because you wanted to wait to get the facts? You must have told them, that night. So was that then like your first phone call to Tammy? Like, hey, Leroy's in the hospital,
Yes.
blah, 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 talking about all this stuff.
Right.
I'm assuming you talked for a while. Not like, I'm sure that wasn't like a quick.
No, we talked.
1 minute phone call.
We talked quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then the coffee milkshake comes up. That's in her head
I
now.
don't know why.
Yeah.
But we did. I know there was a reason.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that had to be for some reason. Was she trying to figure out? I mean, was she asking the questions like we asked? Like, did he eat something? Did he drink something? Did he take drugs? Like, I mean, because I'm assuming if that was me, I would have a million questions.
I don't
you know?
remember the conversation. I
Okay.
do remember saying that to her though. So that's in her head. But
Okay.
surely, they can't think that's true.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. I've done everything for that man in the name of love. Everything. To want him dead?
Yeah.
No. Never.
Why would Leroy be telling his family that you're poisoning him? I know you kind of said it's the true crime.
Because
thing.
he's a little fucking pissant liar, is what he is.
Does his brain kind of implied with the shows?
He thinks he's a genius and he talks like a dope.
Okay, so you think he's basically just fabricating that?
Yes, he's fabricating because he wants answers. And
No, sorry, Leroy Sr.
oh my
Sorry,
God.
yes.
Oh God, no.
Sorry,
So
no, time out. Sorry, let me back up. There's two Leroys.
Yes, I know.
Completely understand.
Confusing.
Because when you were answering that, I was surprised.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Sorry, so Leroy, I'll say Sr. Why would he tell his family that he thinks you're poisoning him?
I don't know. I don't know the context of the conversation. It could be. And he said me that I was.
Yes.
I can't answer that. I can't even tell you why he would say something like that.
Okay. I know he told his family that when he's at your place and when he leaves, he feels better when he leaves, and he thinks that you're poisoning him with the coffee milkshakes. He's told his family members that. I'm asking why Leroy Sr. would say that, not Leroy Jr.
I don't know.
Because I'll be honest with you, I've spoken to Tammy, I've spoken to Bill, I've spoken to Leroy, I've spoken to Mike Hawkins. Obviously, I've spoken to you. I haven't spoken to Barbara yet, but I've been working this ever since I got the call. And what if I told you that right now we are doing the search warrant on your house, like I told you in the lobby, and there is antifreeze in your kitchen?
I don't know anything about it. You won't find my fingerprints on it.
Do you know why there would be antifreeze in your kitchen?
Do I know why there would be? No.
Because I know with me, I usually, I have gasoline for my lawnmower, I leave it in the shed though.
I don't know. I don't know why Leroy would say that.
He told it to Michael Hawkins, and then the sister, Tammy, is also aware of it.
No. If you're looking to me be the bad guy, they're putting the blame on me, and they're just going to focus on me, and it isn't me. I
Do you
don't
think
know.
there's antifreeze in his system?
I don't know. No, why would I? Why would he drink it? As I told you, the man loves himself. I don't know what else to say. I really don't. That floors me.
Have you ever seen the antifreeze in the kitchen before? If we just found, and this isn't an if, we just found antifreeze in your kitchen. So have you ever seen antifreeze
No.
in your kitchen? So
No.
you weren't aware that it was
Nope.
that it was there.
No.
Is it typical to keep those types of items in the kitchen?
I wouldn't put antifreeze in the kitchen.
Did Leroy put any, did he store anything in the kitchen?
You saw my kitchen, correct?
No, I did,
It's
yeah.
a mess. And where things are being put, could be willy-nilly at this point. But I don't even know what a bottle of antifreeze looks like, first of all.
Okay.
I would never store it under my sink where I put my, regular cleaning utensils and rags and things. It wouldn't be my choice, so.
When you make the coffee shakes for him, how are they blended?
On a ninja machine?
If we took the Ninja machine and tested it, would there be antifreeze in it?
No.
Okay. What about the dish towels? If we tested those, would that have antifreeze on them?
No.
from washing the dishes or anything?
Antifreeze? Oh, no.
Yeah, like
no.
you clean something and then it transfers on to the dish towels and then you test it and it comes back.
No. Shouldn't be.
Can you understand the questions I'm asking?
Yes,
from
I am.
my point of view,
I understand.
as somebody who doesn't know you and Leroy through a hole in the wall.
Right,
I just met you on Saturday.
right.
And like I said, my job is to facts are facts,
Mm-hmm.
and I talk to everyone. I know you said the family wants to pin it on you and just make you the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how I do my job.
Mm-hmm.
I don't just look for the easy out. I leave no stone unturned. I look everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and then whatever the facts are the facts, essentially. Do you have any questions for him?
How do you usually make one of his fraps? What goes into it?
Just coffee ice cream, milk, and coffee syrup.
Coffee syrup. So you don't buy like coffee ice cream? It's just
Yeah, coffee ice cream.
oh, and there's extra coffee syrup that goes in. What kind of coffee syrup do you usually use? Is it?
It begins with an A. It's a big bar. It's on the counter.
You buy it just from the supermarket, Walmart, something?
Market Basket.
Market Basket. Which aisle do they sell that in? Is it with like the dessert stuff?
No, I think it's like where syrup is. Like a
Like maple syrup?
Maple syrup.
Okay. Or like chocolate syrup and like strawberry, like chocolate milk stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So with your phone, we are gonna search it. That was in the warrant. So are we gonna find anything about search histories on Antifreeze or messages about Antifreeze, and why would those be there?
No.
No. Can we have your passcode for your phone?
Mm-hmm.
What's your passcode?
5896.
You know Leroy's password for his phone?
No.
Did he use, was it numbers or did he use like a design?
I don't know. He was very private about his phone because obviously,
When you said you Google a lot, is that on your phone or do you have a laptop
on my phone.
on your phone?
Do you have like an iPad or like a tablet, just the phone?
Yeah.
Do you have a Gmail account?
Mm-hmm.
What's your email?
Church Judy 99 at gmail.com.
Is there any relevance to 99?
No, it was just a number
Or
that
here or
popped up.
anything?
No.
So just, Leroy was with you for a few days before Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Something happens, he goes to the hospital, they find antifreeze in it.
Mm-hmm.
It had to get there somehow. So, how did it get there?
I don't know.
Do you think when we test his drinking containers that we will detect antifreeze in it?
Maybe. If you're telling me he ingested it,
I'm saying preliminarily.
but my hands will not be on that can.
Okay.
Well, actually, because I put them in the fridge for him.
Yes.
Do you recognize this?
Yeah.
What is it?
Just one of my notebooks.
Is it like a diary or?
It's got a lot of things on it. A mixture of things.
How are you, like, coping with him leaving and going to Barbara's? Does that drive you crazy? Do you get upset when he goes? So say he goes for.
Yes, I get
week.
upset. Of course I get upset.
So-
But I don't do anything about it. He comes home and, he has little ways of making it up to me and everything's fine again. We're happy and laughing and no, I don't.
The time now is 5:36. I'm going to end the interview. Okay. I have my card on here, which I didn't have the other day. My extension is 5013.
Okay.
Obviously, we'll give you a ride back to your house. I'm not trying to attack you. We have other people we need to talk to, but this is just, part of the job, I guess. Can you coordinate a ride for her back?
Absolutely.
It's just incredible timing, once again.
Judge, the only thing that I have We can.
Do you have
left-
additional witnesses for today?
Well, I do not have any additional witnesses for today. I did want to read a couple of things from those two notebooks that got mentioned right at the end of the interview.
Did you say you do or do not have additional witnesses?
No, I do not. I'm sorry.
Oh, so the witnesses have finished for today?
Yeah, as we discussed yesterday, the medical examiner is the remaining witness.
That I was aware of. I just didn't know if we
No.
had completed the rest of the witnesses.
Yep.
All
So
right,
the only thing that I wanted to do today was to read a couple of excerpts from the notebooks that were just mentioned in the video. I can do it in the morning, or I can do it right now. Take about 3 minutes.
Why don't we just do that in the morning? We have plenty of time tomorrow. But let me just see counsel, actually, just about scheduling generally at sidebar, so I can give the jury a sense of what tomorrow will look like. Because it looks like you're. All right. As things stand, I expect the Commonwealth will call the medical examiner tomorrow morning, and then we'll rest. With, the defense witnesses who will then follow tomorrow. It may be a day much like today where we don't make use of the whole day, again, because there's a couple of defense witnesses who are likely to be called who are not available tomorrow, not available until Friday. The way things stand is there is some prospect of us going to closing arguments on Friday. That is, all the evidence having been completed. I expect all the evidence will be completed by sometime Friday. Depending on when that occurs, determines whether we have time and it's appropriate to continue the closings and jury instructions, because those have to come together. I don't like to separate them, or whether we have to do that on Monday morning. So that's a little bit up in the air right now. But I will see how tomorrow goes. It's possible we'll push into the afternoon, depending on how lengthy the witnesses are. But knowing that we've got the medical examiner and then two defense witnesses, I won't be surprised if it's much like a day like today where you're going at this hour. I know this is so uncertain that it doesn't really help you plan in your daily lives as to what you can do, and I'm sorry for that. We're doing the very best we can. If that is frustrating to you, please don't take it out on the parties or the lawyers who represent them, although nothing's ever really my fault. Direct your frustration at me. I can take it, and truly, and I say that in all sincerity, direct your frustration at me and not at the other folks in this room. So, with that, jurors, until we see each other tomorrow morning, please don't discuss the substance of this case with anyone, including, among yourselves. And please don't allow yourselves to see, read, hear, or overhear anything from any outside source about this case. And who knows, maybe tomorrow morning will be the first day I don't greet you with a hacking cough. I'm going to be optimistic about that. See you tomorrow morning, folks.
All right.
We'll stay in session for just a moment. Mr. Scully, you said there was a logistics issue?
Yes. So one of our witnesses tomorrow is one of the, not Zoom, but court closed camera, Zoom type of appearances, virtual appearance.
Yes.
And so we would like, if possible, to do a quick dry run with him. He has to download software. I know he was having a little trouble with that, and get it up and running so that tomorrow runs smoothly.
Okay.
And I don't know, we had talked to him about trying to make that happen at the lunch break, but don't want to impose on courtroom staff. So we were wondering if we could maybe try at 2 o'clock for us to come back in and get this hooked up and get him on, just so that we can make sure we're ready to go tomorrow.
All right, well, let me check with the boss. Mr. Draper, is that at 2 o'clock or 2:50?
2:05, whenever, an hour from when.
Yeah, I give a full, whenever we recess, I give a full hour, so.
I appreciate that.
So let's say 2:15, Ms. Draper, would that be acceptable?
Perfect, and thank you, Mr. Draper, I appreciate it.
All right. When folks get a chance, do read over the jury instructions. They are the standard model jury instructions, but we'll have to have a charge conference, and maybe we can do that sometime tomorrow after the evidence for tomorrow has ended.
The only one that I didn't see in there as a preliminary thought was a full Bowden instruction.
So you will have a request for a Bowden instruction.
Yes.
It's instruction I almost never give. It's not actually a favored instruction because it's viewed as perhaps putting the hand on the scale a little bit. There are certain unique circumstances where it's appropriate, usually not, even when a Bowdoin defense is being vigorously pursued, but I will give it some thought.
Thank you very much, Sean.
But there's no instruction in there for example, involuntary manslaughter, and I haven't seen a basis or any, and my supposition is nobody's looking for that. Is that correct, Commonwealth?
Yeah, I don't see any basis in the evidence.
And Mr.
We will revisit that, but as of right now, that's correct.
All right, that's fine. All right, Mr. Narkunis.
I've just been informed, Judge, by Ms. Morrissey that our witness needs to come in the morning tomorrow, Mr. Crouch.
Okay, you mean to do the logistics?
Yeah.
All right, we will try. Let's see if we can try to do that at. It depends on Ms. Draper's availability, but is he available to try to do the dry run at the 8:45 range?
So I think there's been a little mix-up. We would still like to do the dry run at 2:15.
Oh, this is I'm sorry.
Yes. And
Oh, your witness is only available. The live witness is only available to be taken out of order. Is that what you're telling me?
And it's the video witness, Judge. It's the
I'm
video
sorry?
witness. It's Mr. Crouch who would be the video witness. The one, we're going to try and set it up today, but he is only available, my understanding, is tomorrow morning.
Oh, so to do the actual video testimony,
Yes.
you're requesting for him to be taken out of order before the medical examiner.
yes.
This could be a
Yes,
problem
yeah,
because I think
yes,
we've been
yes.
we've been working around this medical examiner's availability. So that's a problem, I presume. I don't expect. Is this the math witness or somebody?
Yes. Yep.
I don't imagine his testimony is going to be very lengthy.
Correct.
But I also don't know what the situation is with. Is it Dr. Atkinson?
Atkinson, Judge, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've essentially really worked to get him so he can come in, get out of here. So we're going to ask that he go on at 9 o'clock. And I can't imagine he's more than an hour, so I think that's plenty of time to do that.
I think we have to honor that. Normally, I would strong arm the Commonwealth about any witness to take an otherwise unavailable witness out of order. But here, I wanted the doctor here today, and they made their efforts to do that. And when we couldn't guarantee, as it turns out, I think we could have. We just didn't know that. But we couldn't guarantee that he would be on and off the stand today. The compromise was first thing tomorrow morning. And given their schedules, I don't want to mess with that. So let's see what we can work out with Mr. Crouch, is that his name?
Crouch, CR.
All right. And we'll do the very best we can, but I'm certainly hopeful that he'll still be available and we'll be able to do that.